All right, so welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out. Now, the first thing we're going to do together is chant together. Now, the interesting thing about something like chanting is whether you enjoy chanting or not, or whether you think you have a good voice or not, it's a way that we can actually attune ourselves as a group. So we're learning more and more through neuroscience and things of that nature that things like group singing, group dancing, moving in unison with other people, it tunes our brain waves and it creates cohesion in a group. And so whether you feel like you identify with this group or not, whether you feel like you identify with me, I can promise you'll get more out of the training if you feel like you are part of this group and that you can learn something from me. One of the things I like to get out of the way at the very beginning, because in spirituality today, I think there's a lot of expectations and people have a lot of ideas about what teachers are supposed to be. I'll tell you my experience with teachers and also myself. They're absolutely 100% human. And they're absolutely 100% fallible. They make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. And the best thing I can do is try and learn from them. So if you're sitting there and you're waiting for me to mess up and you're waiting for me to say something wrong or do something wrong, it's not going to be hard. You're going to see plenty of evidence of that. So this isn't about me being perfect. I don't need to be perfect for you to be able to learn from me, and that's what's important. I've had a lot of experience, I've had a lot of training, and I'm a professional yoga teacher, which is actually a pretty rare thing. Some of you might be professionals, but this is all that I do. It's just me. I don't have anyone else. There's no other who's helping me out financially. So this is basically all I do. It's not an easy thing to do for a living. So, the best way to go into it, again, is just with an open mind. And we have some of that in the manual. Some of you might have been flipping through and seen some of that. But this is an absolutely important thing. And I say this because I'm almost talking to myself at an earlier stage in my life when I was what you could call a skeptic. Things like chanting, I might be like, I'm not going to chant. I came here for the yoga. Why are we chanting? I don't like that chanting thing. And there's a story about that was told by a musician who went to this Buddhist retreat center, and he said when he got there, everyone was bowing all the time. Everyone was bowing, and at first he didn't want to bow. He's like, what is this bowing thing about? Am I like being subservient to someone else? What does that mean? So at first he was very resistant. And then he decided, since I'm already here, I might as well do what everyone else is doing. And everyone's bowing, so I might as well go ahead and start bowing. And so he started bowing, and he said by the end he was totally in love with bowing, and he was a bowing fool, and he just was bowing to everybody. Anyone who he could bow to, he would bow to. So it's a way to approach it, and it's a good way to get ourselves out of where we're stuck, which is really a lot of what yoga techniques are about. I know this might sound strange, and you don't have to agree with everything I say, but just again, let it seep in and consider that it may be true, or there might be some truth to it. So very often, the techniques and the things that we do in yoga that we are most resistant to, the things that we're most like, oh my God, no, those are often doorways for us toward greater freedom and greater joy and greater peace. Because it's showing us there's something inside of us. Everything in yoga is about what's going on inside you. The outside reflects the inside. So we can keep trying to manipulate all this stuff out here and make it go right, but if it's not right in here, it's never going to be right out there. Not for any length of time. You can kind of stack everything up, oh, it's perfect, and then all of a sudden something happens because it's not right in here. When it's right in here, everything could be going wrong out here, wrong, and you still see it as right. It's still a joy. That's what this is really about, this experience. It's not about having everything perfect the way we want it. That's not why we're here. We're not here for that experience, whether we know that or not.